I'm so in love with her. A Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction written and narrated by Eleanor Rose. A special thank you to Ari Oodle on Instagram for allowing the use of her art in this video as both the opening and thumbnail image. You can find a link to her social media in the description box below. And if you'd like to show support, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment down below to help the YouTube analytics. Oh, no. Don't do it, Ladrien! Don't you do it! He was totally going to do it. Ladybug was as charming as ever, and he couldn't hold his tongue around her. "I love you," he blurted out, the words heavier than any other time he'd said them aloud. Ladybug turned to look at him over her shoulder. "Thanks," she said, flashing a smile. "I love you too." Her response both froze and melted him. You're everyone's idol, after all." Ladrien hoped it was enough to recover. At the end of the day, he was just another fanboy to her. She nodded, cheeks reddening beneath her mask. "Thanks." Ugh, too cute. If only she would act like this when he was Cat Noir. But alas, she'd also have an adverse reaction to him confessing his feelings for her. So, for now, all Ladrien could do was enjoy the moment they shared here, in the middle of the street. Oh, yeah, they were standing in the middle of the street. "Come on," he said, taking advantage of the opportunity to hold her hand, "before the crosswalk time ends." It was his fault they were there in the first place. He'd begun to cross, dropped something, and then Ladybug swooped in and picked it up. Then he professed his love for her, she took it like a fan's confession to an idol, and now here he was, running to the sidewalk while holding her hand. Not the worst possible outcome, in hindsight. "I should get going," Ladybug said, not fighting the grip he had on her. "Are you sure?" "Well, I mean, there could be someone else out there just waiting for help." "Well, I could always use some help," Ladrien said, not thinking about the consequences of the statement. "Really?" Her eyebrows shot up. "With what?" Think, Ladrien, think! I'm taking Instagram photos, but I don't have anyone to hit the camera button on my phone." Really? That was the best he could come up with? Hopefully she didn't think of him as some entitled influencer who ties up traffic for an aesthetic photo or something like that. "Oh, for sure," she said, holding out her free hand like she expected him to hand his phone over. Wait, was it really that easy? Okay. What, cat got your tongue, or did you not mean to take a photo here? She still hadn't slipped her hand out of his. Well, think, Ladrien, think! I was thinking a few blocks over in front of this one bakery. A bakery? She tilted her head to the side. Do you really like it or something? Yeah, I'd like to help a friend of mine out, too. Her parents own it, so I don't think tagging them in a post would hurt anything, you know? She squeezed his hand and smiled. That's awfully thoughtful of you. The statement made him blush and he had to turn away, starting to walk with the most desired company he's spent years yearning for. I'm not doing it for praise. Still, he heard her say behind him, it's nice. He wanted to walk with her side by side, but then he'd have to let go of her hand. Ladrien didn't want to make himself too obvious by interlacing his fingers with hers or something foolish like that. If she had any feelings for him, she would have responded differently to his word vomit earlier, right? The bakery came all too soon, and, finally, he let go of her hand to give her his phone. It'd only been a few minutes, but now it felt cold without hers in it, like even his fingers missed her. Wow. What a sap. If he kept this up, he could start a poetry Twitter account for angsty teenagers. Inside our storefront, Ladybug asked. Huh? The photo, indoor or outdoor? Oh. Ladrien felt silly. That's what he got for not having a solid excuse in the first place. Indoor? That way, the lighting wouldn't be as good, and they'd have to take longer to get the perfect shot. Genius, Ladrien. Genius. Wait, no. What if she takes it as vanity instead? And he has to get a good shot out of this, because if he doesn't post it to his Instagram, it'll be like he lied to Ladybug, and she hates liars. What a kerfuffle. Great! There's a window that's perfect for your feed. For my feed? He repeated. She knows it well enough to know he has a theme? Adrian's heart swelled at the idea. Yeah, are you coming or what? Ladybug said, walking into the bakery like she lived there and pointed to a windowsill deep enough for a butt cheek. Perhaps two, depending on how he positioned his assets. He adjusted his black jacket against the window frame, feeling the chill March air ooze through the glass. Unable to get comfortable, he slipped off his outerwear to sport his t-shirt, a little more wrinkled than he cared for. Over here, Ladybug said, waving to grab his attention. Yes? Look that way. He nodded and complied, following her finger and adjusting his silhouette accordingly. As of right now, he had half of a singular butt cheek on the windowsill, and all of his weight was on the windowsill-free leg. He might be a part-time superhero, but he wouldn't be able to stand this for long. No, a little more to the left. Okay. Your other left. Her mistake cracked a grin across his face. Are you sure about that? Ladrien asked, turning to look at her. Hey now, she said, stepping up and taking his face in her hand. I said to the left. Ladybug turned his head to the side, and he just about melted. She was wearing perfume today. Wait, no. This wasn't just any perfume. This was Ladrien cologne. Maybe, just maybe? What's wrong, Ladrien? Cat got your tongue? If only she knew the humor in the question. He was swept away in a wave of emotion for her, and instead of answering like a normal person, he sighed with content. I'm so in love with her, he thought, taking a moment to enjoy this jelly-like feeling as he rested his chin in her hands before straightening himself out and adhering to her directions. I'm good, he said, flashing a smile that was a little too authentic for an Instagram photo. She didn't respond, instead gently touching him to adjust as needed, snapping photos as she saw fit. Before he knew it, she'd handed back the phone and taken off, barely leaving enough time to say goodbye. She must have seen something through the window. But the day wasn't going to wait around for him and his unyielding feelings. It wasn't until Ladrien collapsed in bed that evening that he was able to look at the photos she'd taken, but the first one stunned him like a forehead kiss. It was him, laughing in the window with one of her hands still sculpted around his jawline. He couldn't tell if it was taken on purpose or not as she stepped away, but he didn't care. The picture spoke the truth. Even without the mask on, he could make a face like this. How long had it been since he could laugh like that without pretending he was Cat Noir, or worrying that he was too loud or laughing too hard? He was so bad at social cues that something as simple as expressing enjoyment gave him anxiety, even with close friends. Looking at the photo now, Ladrien knew that nothing changed but the truth. "I'm so in love with her," he murmured, unable to take his eyes off the lone hand caressing his cheek. "I'm in love." Was it possible to fall in love with someone you hadn't dated? Ladrien didn't know, but if it was possible, then it's what he felt at this moment. Ladrien Agreste was so in love with Ladybug. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like more Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, you can find it by checking out other videos on this channel. In addition, one more thank you goes out to Ariudel on Instagram for allowing the use of her art in this video. You can find links to her social media in the description box below. I'll catch you next time!